Hello wonderful little beans, my name is Bee and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started with today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and click that bell, and of course use stacker B when buying Robux or Premium. As you guys already know, there is all sorts of stuff going on in the Royale community right now, especially since the Everfriend update just released, and of course, we know the new set is on the way as well. But there's one thing that everybody is talking about right now, in particular because Lawns kind of gave some stuff away on his recent live stream that has got everyone super duper excited. Now, I have talked about one of these things in particular in a previous video, but I haven't talked about how it impacts the rest of the game and how it's going to feed in directly to something else the developers have talked about. Now sadly, I searched all over, but even though I showed the clip in a previous video, for some reason I just cannot seem to find the clip again. But for those who don't know, Lawns on a recent live stream talked in his stream in two different clips. The first one was where he announced that all of the advent items every single year are going to be harder to obtain each year that it happens. So in other words, this year you might have been able to win last year's items by a 50% chance, but the next year over it will go down to like a 20% chance, then it will go down to a 10% chance until it eventually becomes impossible. In other words, the advent items we know and love in game right now are going to become even better later in terms of trading value because they're going to become even rarer. In addition, he did say it won't just be advent items, so there are other items that are also going to become incredibly rare over time, and you guys will notice their values massively increasing. One thing we all already know right now is that, for example, the cozy sweater is already worth like 55,000 diamonds, which is quite high for such a simple item, mainly because obviously people want it because they didn't manage to complete the advent. You can look down recent trades or the looking for sections and you will see that a lot of people are willing to trade actually scarily high amounts specifically for this. For example, the cozy sweater bodice is currently being offered for the Divine Adoration Everfriend Halo. That is crazy, you guys. People are willing to trade Goddess of Triumph parasols for it, steampunk sets, and the new Halo just for this sweater. I think that is crazy. Now, right now, you will know that some items are already starting to raise in value. For example, the baby star bear's average value was 2,775. But as you can see, people are now starting to trade it for 4,000, 5,000 or more diamonds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but as these items are getting rarer and as people are hearing about Lawns talking about the rarity of these items increasing, people are starting to trade higher and higher values, which I imagine will only get bigger and bigger over time as more and more people realize the value of their items is increasing. In addition, the baby penguin, for example, while not huge amounts of course because it is a couple of years old now, it's still worth 2,000 diamonds and increasing, and people are trading it for things like the North Pole present skirt, for example. You can see here on the graph the value has shot up recently, so even though it has only shot up a little bit, it is also going up, mainly because Lawns confirmed that these are going to become rarer. Obviously, with the announcement happening, more and more people are expecting the value of their items to increase, which is causing them to choose to trade differently when they're going ahead onto Tradery or in the trading hub to trade their valuable items. People know that there's less of these available and less of them going forward as the rarity increases, which means each of these items will continue to increase in value until they become really expensive. Now, one thing to bear in mind that's going to be mainly impacted by this is going to be things like the TTYL set, in particular things like the bodice. Obviously, you won the bodice from the advent, and as you can see, the value again has already started increasing. Usually as an item gets older, the value drops, but as you can see, unless obviously it's a super legacy rare item, but as you can see, the value of these particular items are going up pretty consistently. People are willing to trade really high amounts for it, despite the fact that just a little while ago it was going for 18k. People are now trading up to 40,000 diamonds for this, just so that they can obtain these really high level items as they become rarer and rarer throughout the time the game goes on. So in other words, all of those low value items you guys usually use as ads in trades, or the ones that you don't normally care much about, are actually going to shoot up in value over time, and people are going to want them more and more, particularly newer players who will have less chance to be able to obtain them in future years' advents. So if you haven't already started to think about which additional items you have or which duplicates you have, I definitely suggest you think about every single year's advent duplicates, because they're probably going to start going up in value drastically, considering we've all just not really cared about these items for a long time now because they've been available for so long, and in fact many of us think they're just annoying duplicates that we have. It turns out those annoying duplicates may end up being able to make you some significant amounts of diamonds and help you to get even richer in the game. So it's definitely something I think you guys should consider going forward when doing your trades, because there are going to be more and more people looking for these just in case they end up exploding in value in the future when Royale High eventually makes them full legacy items once their rarity expires, because obviously they can only drop in percentage for so many years before eventually they will just become legacy items that you can no longer obtain with anything other than trading, and at that point I think their values will explode. I think you're going to see more and more people trying to profit trade for these items and saving them to trade for higher values later. So if I were you, I would definitely be considering what items I have available and what things you have to check out in your inventory, particularly your duplicates, to see what kind of diamonds you can end up getting later. Definitely keep your eyes peeled on all of this, you guys, as time goes on, and thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited to see how the values of this change, and of course let me know if you're hyped about all of the future things that are coming to Royale High. There is one thing I wanted to add before I finish off this video, and that is that there is now a direct link between this and Mermaid Tails, because even though Mermaid Tails are not currently tradable, Lawrence did confirm that they are still working on new Mermaid Tail reworks, and I suspect that if they bring them out again, they will either rework the old ones and then make them tradable for anybody who has them and not sell new ones, or they will start to sell new ones. It all depends, but whatever depends on these new Mermaid Tails releasing, the one thing we can know for sure is that the rarities will definitely increase, so again, even more items that will ultimately end up being worth a lot of diamonds if they become tradable. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go in the future. You should definitely keep your eyes on all of these changes and make sure you bear in mind all of the ways you can probably obtain even more diamonds coming up very soon, and of course exclusive Mermaid Tails. So there you go, you guys, a bunch of super rare items that are about to get even rarer. I'm interested to see how these values change over time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Lots of love, little beans. Goodbye.